The Super Regionals have brought expected drama in this 4-5 matchup featuring the Santa Ana College Dons and the Palomar College Comets. Game 1 went to the Comets as they held off a furious Santa Ana rally and held on for a 10-9 win. Meanwhile, in Game 2, it went to the Dons. The Comets pounded out 18 hits but couldn't keep pace with the timely hitting of Santa Ana, as this time it was the Dons who would hold off a late rally for a 13-9 win to even up the series at a game apiece. So Sunday brings a one-game decider in this best-of-3 series. One team will see their season end today. The other takes the next step in pursuit of a championship. Santa Ana Palomar Game 3 is next. And we welcome you to Santa Ana for the 3C2A Baseball Super Regionals with the Dons and the Comets set to go. Alan Huerta on the mound in the first pitch to left-hander Devlin Lindemann is over for a strike, and we're underway. No balls and a strike for this Game 3 matchup. A lot on the line. One team will see their season conclude in this one, and the winner moves on and gets top seed Saddleback in round 3 of the playoffs. That's next weekend. A ball and a strike on Lindemann. Lindemann, a freshman out of Temescal Canyon High School, having a monster season at the plate. 15 home runs. That's tied for the lead in the entire 3C2A, as the slider misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. 60 runs batted in for Lindemann. That's in the top 5 as well. So the danger in this very potent Palomar lineup starts immediately with Lindemann. 2 balls and a strike. Chopper to second. It's going to get through for a base hit, and Lindemann gets things going with a single. Let's watch this one more time as Lindemann gets this one just to the right of Perez. One more time on the right side. Just enough topspin on that bouncer to get through. And a leadoff base hit for Devlin Lindemann. That's not the last hit we're going to see today between these two teams. A combined 41 runs between the two teams in the first 2 games. Both these teams averaging well over 8 runs a game in the postseason. 1 ball and no strikes on the batter, Jack Sanders. Sanders out of Poway High School, a freshman. Another Comet hitter having a monster year. He's hitting .456. That's tops in the 3C2A. Over for a strike. Count evened up. A ball and a strike on Sanders. Ryan Stock in left. Kyle Ashworth in center. Kyle Morrell in right for the Dons. 1-1 to Sanders. Took a little something off. And Sanders hacks it foul. A ball and 2 strikes. Huerta will come with a fastball that gets up into the upper 80s. Also features a slider and a change. And with the change, he can get a little bit of movement both running in and away from right-handers. 1-2, slider well inside, and it got a piece of Sanders. That is a tough break for the Dons, as Sanders was down a ball and 2 strikes, and instead he gets away as the breaking ball gets a piece. It's exactly the start you want if you're the Comets. A couple on, nobody out here in the top of the first. And that'll bring up Bryson Hashimoto. Fastball, the bunt on the third base side, and a strong throw in time. Successful sacrifice for Hashimoto. Will move the runners up 90 feet. Let's watch this one more time. This is a good job by Thomas Williams, able to charge and just get Hashimoto. It's Williams at third, Denbo at short, Cedric Perez at second, Schiavone at first. Evan Leibel behind the plate, and Alan Huerta, the right-hander, on the mound. The numbers on the sophomore Huerta, making his 14th appearance overall. Just his second start, comes in with a record of 2-1, an ERA of 3 in 24 innings of work. First pitch at the knees for a strike to Quincy Scott. Golden opportunity for the Comets to get on the board early. We're at the top of the first. Just underway, Game 3 in the 3C2A Super Regionals from Santa Ana. In 24 innings, Huerta's allowed 21 hits, walked 9, struck out 29. In our conversation with Coach Tom Nillis this morning, expressed the utmost confidence, as you would expect, in Alan Huerta. Fly ball, left field. Shallow, stock is there. Throw coming in, the runner gonna hold, so not deep enough, as Scott flies out to shallow left. Let's watch this one here, and just not enough carry on this ball, and the Comets elect not to chance it, and instead they'll leave it up to Tanner Lappin with 2 down and runners at second and third. What a boon this would be if Huerta could get out of this jam unscored upon here in the top of the first. But he'll have to get by Lappin to do it. First pitch from Huerta, low for a ball. Lappin out of Del Norte High School, a freshman. Getting back to our conversation with Coach Tom Nillis. Said Huerta, and a converted outfielder, plays both, and they recruited him as a player that can potentially contribute in both areas, but Huerta's got outstanding stuff, and the future for him in baseball is going to be on the mound. And that's where they're looking, and he gets a big assignment today against an incredibly tough lineup in Palomar. They lead the 3C2A as a team in average with a team batting average of .356. The slider well inside again, and now Lappin way out in front, 3 balls and no strikes. First base open with Jackson Garrett, the designated hitter, waiting on deck for the Comets. Good fastball in for a strike. 3 balls and a strike on Lappin. Be interesting to see if Lappin's got the green light, 3-1. With first base open. Got to believe if he gets one he likes, he'll be able to go, and he does. Rips it foul. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Nearly killed Lindemann in the process.
Mike, was that you saying that Lindemann? Yeah. Well, it's the hot corner for the third baseman and the runner at third. It doesn't change. If you're anywhere near the bag, throw in the third base coach. Here's the 3-2. Line drive, right center field, and a tremendous oh no, he did get through. A diving attempt from Perez, who nearly got it, but it does get through for Lappin, and the Comets grab a 1-0 lead on a 2-out single by Lappin. And on the play, Sanders was also able to round and score, so make it 2-0. And that'll bring up Garrett. First pitch swinging, and it fouls it away. No balls and a strike. In the dirt. Blocked by Leibel. A late break for second. And the throw down not in time. So Lappin moves into scoring position with 2 down. Now look at that one more time. A ball and a strike. on Garrett.
There we see the replay of the nearly sensational play made. At second
Low for a ball.
Perez.
2 balls and a strike. Huerta ready from the belt. Fouled off. 2-2 on Jackson Garrett out of Carlsbad High School. Another freshman for the Comets. And again out in front. Breaking stuff from Huerta. And again mixes in the change as well. 2-2. The Comets with 2 on the board on the 2-run single by Lappin here in the top of the first. Now time called. Carter Hain would be next. Called strike 3. Huerta fans Garrett to end the inning, but the Comets jump on top with 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave 1 on base through half an inning. Palomar 2, Santa Ana coming to bat. It's the Super Regionals on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Christian Thompson, the designated hitter, will lead things off against freshman right-hander Ethan Sally, who gets the start for the Comets in Game 3. Sally making his 15th appearance on the season. A record of 3-0 as he makes his 8th start. An ERA of 3.35, 40 1/3 innings pitched, 33 hits allowed, 12 walks, 23 strikeouts in the book on Sally. Fastball, slurve, and a change. No balls and a strike. And the challenge for Sally today will be to keep the ball down, try to produce ground balls. But both coaches well aware in our short conversations this morning that some runs are going to be scored today. And that is just what you have to expect with potent lineups and a hitter's park. And that this will be a grind. And both teams will have their opportunities, and we'll see who's on top when we finish up. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count on Thompson, to be followed by Ashworth and Perez for the Dons, who trail it early 2-0, 1-2. Here's the pitch from Sally. Tried the slurve and missed it low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Thompson, a freshman out of Cypress High School. Three and 2. How did Cypress let him get away? He makes his way over here to Santa Ana. Does Christian Thompson. Here's the 3-2. Low for a ball. And a leadoff walk for Christian Thompson after he fell behind in the count early. The Dons with a base runner. That'll bring up Kyle Ashworth. Setting the Comet defense, Quincy Scott in left, Ethan Ellis in center, Jack Sanders in right, Carter Hain at third, Eric Larson at short, Bryson Hashimoto at second, Tanner Lappin at first, the battery Devlin Lindemann behind the plate, and Ethan Sally on the mound. Ashworth stands in, first pitch, over for a strike. Looked like Sally took a little something off. No balls and a strike, and there is a look at Kyle Ashworth out of Foothill High School, having an outstanding freshman season for this Dons team. As of the last rankings, the Dons were 5th in the 3C2A. And given that they're still in the postseason after an impressive win over Santa Barbara City College, it's hard to imagine that that ranking would have gone down substantially. Meanwhile, Palomar, as of the last rankings, were 12th. And this is a good matchup, a 4-5 matchup, 2 very evenly matched teams. Bounces in, a ball and 2 strikes. The runner going to hold. Perez waiting on deck. Good job by Leibel to keep it in front. A stat to watch in this one will be walks. In a high-scoring matchup that you would expect between these two teams, you simply cannot afford to give away extra base runners. Going to be so important to minimize chances because both of these teams are going to put some runs on the board here today, even without any extra help. The Dons, for their part, have more walks than any team in the 3C2A. So this is a disciplined lineup, up and down. 1-2, scalded into center for a base hit. Ashworth with a base hit. Meanwhile, Thompson rounding second and will make it to third, and the Dons get things going immediately in their half of the first. Well, you can't hit it a whole lot harder than this. Breaking ball out over the plate. And Ashworth tattooed it. 2 on, nobody out, and that'll bring up Cedric Perez. Perez in his sophomore season out of Fountain Valley High School. That's just down the street from me. And correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, but for those that don't know, Cedric Perez recovering from an auto accident just a few weeks ago, and Tom Nillis talking about Cedric Perez, just marveled at the way he has toughed it out and said that he's out there just jogging around trying to get himself loose because he's still recovering from that traumatic incident, but showing such incredible perseverance and toughness to stay in the lineup, and he has continued to contribute both as a batter and also significantly on the mound. Curve for a strike, no balls and a strike on Perez. There you get a look at Thompson at third. Runners at the corners. Sally tried to go back to the curve and missed it outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 3 game threes today in the Super Regionals. Riverside and Cypress, a matchup of the 3-seeded Tigers and the 11-seed Chargers. That's going on right now. Foul territory, but playable for Lappin, who has it for out number 1. So Perez retired and the runners stay put. 1 down, and that'll bring up Evan Leibel. The other matchup in the north, Ohlone, and Los Medanos. That's the top seed in the North, Ohlone College, after a monster regular season, which they went 41-4 up to the moment, including an undefeated run in conference in the Coast South. But they had their hands full in their opening round, and now they face a Game 3 today. So things far from set. First pitch, lifted into left. Scott there. Thompson will tag. The throw comes in, and Thompson scores easily to get the Dons on the board. Leibel delivers the sacrifice fly. That cuts the deficit in half. It's 2-1. Ashworth at first, and Mark Schiavone coming to the plate. So the Dons get one across. And now Schiavone will be the batter. Out of Servite High School. Mark Schiavone, a sophomore. Change inside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes on Schiavone. Sally tries the curve, 2 balls, no strikes on Schiavone. Well, this is going to be a good one today, but get comfortable. These two lineups. This may take a bit. Fouled off, 2 balls and a strike on Schiavone. Say we're averaging about 20 runs a game over the first 2. And I think that's a pretty decent predictor here for Game 3. Fouled off again, 2-2 on Schiavone. Ethan Sally has been the 3rd starter for the Comets all season long. Parker and Del Vecchio, the top 2. Runner breaks for second and is able to steal it. Ashworth with the stolen base and moves a runner into scoring position. The throw just to the third base side. And Ashworth able to swipe second. Full count now on Schiavone with the potential tying run in scoring position. Kyle Morrell waiting on deck for the Dons if Schiavone can keep it going in the bottom of the first. Three-two pitch. Might have swung at ball 4. Lifts it on the left side. And Hain has it to end the inning. But the Dons get on the board. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors. 1 left on base. We're through 1. Palomar 2, Santa Ana 1. Game 3 of the Super Regionals on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Carter Hain, Eric Larson, Ethan Ellis. 7, 8, 9 coming up in the top of the second for Palomar. They lead it 2-1. Alan Huerta back on the bump and ready to go for the Dons as Hain will lead it off. Good fastball in for a strike for Alan Huerta. There is Hain, the freshman out of Arcadia High School. Hain's had a big series so far for the Dons. Bouncing ball back up the middle to his right. It's Perez who will throw from his knees, not in time. Infield hit for Hain. Leadoff batter aboard to start the second for the Comets. And there you see Perez ranges far to his right, but can't quite get enough on the throw to get Hain at first. One down, I should say one on, and Eric Larson will be the batter. And that was a little awkward for Perez, but as we talked about last inning, he has already shown remarkable toughness. Take quite a bit to get him out of there. Bunted back toward the mound. Huerta will go to first and retire Larson. Another successful sacrifice. Hashimoto moved the runners over in the first, and the Comets took full advantage on the 2-run single by Lappin. So they move Hain into scoring position with one down, and that'll bring up Ethan Ellis. Ethan Ellis, a freshman out of Rancho Bernardo High School. Swings at the first offering and fouls it away. No balls and a strike on Ellis. The Comets back to being the road team for Game 3 in this best-of-3 series. Huerta with a check of the runner. Hit hard. Past a diving Williams down the line. This will plate another run for the Comets as Hain rounds third. He'll score easily. It's an RBI double for Ethan Ellis. The Comets now lead it 3-1. We'll watch here again, and this looks like a breaking ball out over the plate. That's a little too much of the plate, and Williams can't quite get there. Hain able to score without a play, and the Comets now lead it 3-1, and that'll bring up Devlin Lindemann. We're back to the top of the order. It doesn't get any easier for Alan Huerta. Lindemann came in batting .357, talked about the 15 home runs and the 60 runs batted in, and you've got to be careful with Devlin Lindemann and be a quick visit. They'll talk to Alan Huerta, and first time through the order, it's been a struggle, and Huerta's allowed 3 runs, but he's been around the plate. This is the challenge of pitching to the Comets. He really only had one pitch get away from him. That was the one that hit Jack Sanders. So he's done a good job of not putting excess runners on base by being wild, but when you're around the plate, the Comets can hit the ball hard, and they often will. So it is an ongoing challenge. 1 ball and no strikes on Lindemann. Bouncer to first. Schiavone with a little trouble. Now goes to Huerta covering. And they get Lindemann by a fraction. Good job by Schiavone to stay with it, and good hustle from Huerta to get over and cover. 2 out in the inning on the play. Ellis advances to third, so another run for the Comets just 90 feet away. They'll be looking for another 2-out hit, and they'll bring up Jack Sanders. Sanders comes in batting .456, 7 home runs, 40 runs batted in. Pretty good freshman year. High and tight for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Huerta from the belt. Blew the fastball by him, a ball and a strike. And again, talk about Alan Huerta. It's a good live arm. And he has good stuff. Starting with a fastball with good velocity. Potential run saver there from Evan Leibel. What a pick behind the plate. Leibel didn't even have time to get his body in front of that one. He just had to go with the glove. And that's a play that for the moment keeps it a 3-1 game. 2 balls and a strike. Back to the breaking ball, and Sanders again chops it foul, 2-2. Sanders on the season, 9 walks, 16 strikeouts, and 160 at bats, so he's an aggressive hitter. 2-2. Got him. Sanders strikes out to end the inning, but the Comets add another run on 2 hits. We're heading to the bottom of the second. Palomar with a 3-1 lead over Santa Ana. It's the 3C2A Super Regionals on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Will lead things off for the Dons in the bottom of the second. Santa Ana trailing at 3-1. It'll be Morrell followed by Denbo and Williams. 6, 7, 8 coming up for the Dons. Partly cloudy skies here in Santa Ana, and I think that's given us a precious few degrees of relief in terms of the temperature here. Still warm, but we're bordering on outstanding baseball weather. A ball and a strike. Just a hint of breeze. Breaking ball inside, 2 balls and a strike on Morrell. With Denbo waiting on deck. Kyle Morrell out of El Dorado High School. Switch hitter batting from the left side against Sally. Fouls it off, 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a look at Kyle Morrell. Morrell in and out of the lineup. On the right side and through for a base hit. Morrell and Stock earlier in the season. Scotty Young in something of a rotation for the Dons in and out of the lineup. And boy, all of them sharing time have nonetheless delivered this season for the Dons, who've had another big year. Of course, last year in a shortened season, the Dons were having a tremendous year. 18-4 at the time play was halted completely. But they picked it up here in 2022. En route to a 3rd place finish in a typically deep Orange Empire Conference. Behind Saddleback and Riverside. A 13-8 conference record for the Dons. Palomar, meanwhile, pulled away in the Pacific Coast Athletic Conference. They were 21-4 in conference play. Take you back to the base hit by Morrell into right field to get things going. That 21-4 record for the Comets gave them a 6-game cushion over second place Southwestern and Grossmount. Out of play on the right side, 2 balls and a strike on Denbo. Brock Denbo out of Brea Olinda High School in his sophomore season here at Santa Ana. Breaking ball misses just inside. I'm always curious on this pitch as he tries to work the slurve inside. If the outside corner is the backdoor slider, is that a front door slider if you try to slide it over the inside corner? I would think it would have to be. Here's the 3-1. Back to the fastball, bouncer to short. They'll go to second for 1. The relay, the throw is high, and Denbo will be safe. That was going to be a bang-bang play at first with Denbo hustling down the line, but the throw offline renders that moot, and Denbo at first with 1 down on the fielder's choice. That'll bring up Thomas Williams. Thomas Williams, another switch hitter out of Ocean View High School in his freshman year. And he will dig in from the left side against Sally. Had a cut. No balls and a strike. Ryan Stock waiting on deck for the Dons. Sally tries the fastball and missed. A ball and a strike on Williams. Comets with the early lead here from Santa Ana. Beautiful Don Sneddon Field here at Santa Ana College. Breaking ball on the right side. This is through for a base hit. Williams delivers the 3rd hit of the game for the Dons. Denbo will hold at second. Runners at first and second, as we'll take you back to the hit for Williams. And Sally goes to the slurve again. And Williams gets the arms extended, takes that one through on the right side for a base hit. 2 on, 1 out. And Ryan Stock will be the batter. Stock having a monster postseason. And he has stepped into the lineup after not playing a tremendous amount early in the year. Off speed low and blocked nicely by Lindemann. 1 ball and no strikes. Stock out of Servite High School, a freshman. It's in the 9 spot in the order, but we'll get into some of the numbers at some point here. But Stock's making a strong case for playoff MVP. Talk about power at the bottom of the order. A ball and a strike. And there is Stock. Line drive into right. This is going to get into the gap. The Dons are going to get on the board here in the second, looking for the tie, and they've got it on a 2-run double by Ryan Stock, who comes through again. Triple. And Stock on the play even makes it to third. And that is significant. As the throw comes in, Stock able to go all the way to third, because that's the potential go-ahead run for the Dons. Just 90 feet away, there's still only 1 out. For Stock, RBIs 19 and 20 on the season. It's his 4th triple. And that again in part-time duty. That was just the 72nd at bat for Stock on the season. He's got 4 triples. So he's got the power to take it to the wall and the speed to make it to third. Breaking ball over for a strike. Brand new ball game in the bottom of the 2nd. We're all knotted up at 3. Back to the top of the order with Christian Thompson. Bouncer for Thompson. Over on the right side, trying to get it to Sally, covering, and they get it. But that brings home the 3rd run of the inning and gives Santa Ana the 4-3 lead as Stock comes in to score. Dons grab the lead, 4-3. Sally just wins the race against Thompson, who nonetheless gets the RBI. 2 down, bases empty. Santa Ana in the lead. Kyle Ashworth at the plate. Breaking ball inside for a ball. One ball and no strikes on Ashworth. Comes in batting .307. 9 home runs, 42 runs batted in. That number's gone up. He had a base hit his first time up. 1-1. Bouncer to second. Big hop for Hashimoto, who will go to first to retire the side. But a big inning for the Dons. 3 runs on 3 hits. We're heading to the 3rd. Santa Ana out in front, 4-3. It's the 3C2A Super Regionals on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Hashimoto, Scott, Lappin. The heart of the order, 2 up for the Comets, who trail it for the first time today as they come to bat in the top of the 3rd, with the Dons leading at 4-3. Huerta ready to go, and a swing and a miss for Hashimoto. Had a successful sacrifice his first time up. Bryson Hashimoto came into action batting .367, 5 home runs, 38 runs batted in for the freshman out of Santa Fe Christian High School. Huerta bounces it in, a ball and a strike. Well, let's see how Alan Huerta does now that he's got the lead. Through 2 innings, he's surrendered 4 hits. No walks, though he did hit a batter. 2 strikeouts. And he's allowed 3 runs. Hot shot through the box. Perez can't quite get there. Base hit for Hashimoto. And the Comets with the leadoff batter aboard for the 3rd consecutive inning, as Hashimoto rips one back through the middle. That'll bring up Quincy Scott. Fly to left his first time up. Scott came in batting .394. No home runs, 47 runs batted in. That'll give you a sense of just how many runners the Comets put on base. when Scott in the cleanup spot has no home runs on the season, but still 47 runs batted in. Those are the numbers of a guy that comes up with more than a few runners in scoring position. This one's ripped into right center. Over to cut it off is Morel, who has a little trouble. Scott digging for second as the throw comes in. So Scott ends at second. It's a double for Quincy Scott. And right away, the Comets looking to answer back with a couple of runners in scoring position, still nobody out. Not surprisingly, both coaches talked about Game 3, all hands on deck. Maybe one pitcher who might not be available on either side depending on the workload just yesterday, but this is a situation where anybody and everybody has to be ready to have their number called. Slider in for a strike on Tanner Lappin, who's 1 for 1. A base hit his first time up, came in batting .361, 4 home runs, 28 runs batted in. He added to that total with a 2-run single in the first, so he's up to 30. Gets the inside corner, does Huerta with the slider. Again, working it inside, just gets that inside corner. Now he's way out in front, no balls and 2 strikes. And if you're a Dons fan, for a strikeout here with runners at second and third. Still nobody out. 0-2 pitch, fouled off. Lappin in 147 at-bats, 18 walks. He struck out 39 times. So Tanner Lappin's going to be aggressive. Here's the 0-2 from Huerta. Ripped into left. This is a base hit. 1 run will score as Stock gets it back in. Lappin delivers again. He's got 3 RBIs already today. Another base hit. This one comes on an 0-2 count. And let's look at the pitch from Huerta. And just a little bit over belt high. And Lappin able to turn on it and fire it into left field. We're all tied again at 4. 3 consecutive hits, and that's going to do it for Huerta. We've got a pitching change. We'll come back, tell you about the new pitcher. We're in the top of the third, Game 3 of the Super Regionals here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Right-hander Cedric Perez moves in from second base. He will take over for Alan Huerta. Quickly, Austin Haller will come on and play second for the Dons as Perez takes over on the mound. For Perez, it's his 21st appearance, his 10th appearance in relief. His record 8-2, his ERA 4.28 and 75 2/3. He's allowed 82 hits, walked 24, struck out 62. And Harriet's runners at first and third, still nobody out with Jackson Garrett at the plate, who swings at the first offering and fouls it away. So a tough spot for Perez, who comes in with a couple of runners on. Those belong to Alan Huerta, who departs after 2+. And the game tied at 4. Jackson Garrett comes in batting .280. Garrett with no home runs, 9 runs batted in. Struck out his first time up. Breaking ball, fly ball, center field. Ashworth closing over, but he won't get there in time. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Off the end of the bat, but Garrett with just enough muscle to get it out there and drop it in for a base hit. Quincy Scott comes in to score. I mean, Ashworth's got some range, but nobody's got that kind of range. That'll bring up Hain. 4 consecutive hits for the Comets in the inning. They're back out in front, 5-4. Hain batting .356, coming into action, 3 home runs, 20 runs batted in. Singled and scored his first time up. Perez able to get the outside corner with the fastball, no balls and a strike. Breaking ball low. 1 ball, 1 strike on Carter Hain. Eric Larson waiting on deck.
Hain with a home run yesterday.
Indeed, mentioned that Hain having a big postseason overall with the hit in the second. He's now 4 for 7 in the Super Regionals. And it was his 8th hit overall in the postseason in 19 at-bats. Of course, those numbers start to become fairly pedestrian in this Comet lineup. Just get used to seeing one hitter after another with gaudy numbers. 3 balls and a strike, but Hain has been swinging the bat well. And he's got an opportunity here with a couple on. Still nobody out. And Perez now behind 3 balls and a strike. Way outside. The walk to Hain loads him up. And Larson will be the batter. Got a quick look at the scoreboard. They're just in the background, and you might have caught it. We've yet to see a 0. Everybody has scored in every inning so far. We're in the top of the 3rd. 5-4 in favor of Palomar. Fastball in for a strike against Eric Larson. Larson batting .286, a home run, 34 runs batted in on the season. Had a successful sacrifice his first time up. Perez ready. Here's the 0-1. Slow curve over for a strike. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Let's take a look at the hook from Perez. Well, he's way out in front. A little pressure on Evan Leibel now behind the plate. Potential throwaway pitch, and Leibel's got to keep it in front with the bases loaded. Back to the fastball, and Larson reaches out and drops it into right field for a base hit. This will score 2. The Comets extend the lead on the Larson single. 7-4. And this inning, unfortunately for Dons fans, does a pretty good job of encapsulating the entire weekend because the Comets have hit the ball hard because they're a great hitting team, and on a couple of occasions they've managed to place it perfectly when they don't hit it hard. And that time Larson does a good job just to reach out on a ball that fooled him. But he's able to just get enough and drop it into right for a 2-run single. And what can you do? You make a good pitch. But Larson just does a tremendous job of putting the bat on the ball. And when you do, sometimes good things will happen. And he drops it into right field. Ellis, meanwhile, fouled that one off his shin. And he will struggle to his feet. Not fun. A ball and a strike on Ethan Ellis. He doubled his first time up. Ellis batting .317 on the season. 2 home runs, 30 runs batted in. That coming in, and they're still going to take a look at Ethan Ellis. After the Dons took the 4-3 lead, the Comets have come back with 4 in the top of the third to push their lead back to 3 at 7-4. You can close the book on Huerta, who goes 2+ and allows 6 runs on 7 hits. And the Comets have been doing that to a lot of pitchers all season long. And for Perez, it's been a struggle since he's come in. He's faced 3 batters and all 3 have reached. Garrett, Hain, and Larson, a couple of singles and a walk. And nonetheless, for Perez, it's been something of a hard luck outing already. The Garrett base hit was off the end of the bat, looped it into shallow center. And we talked about the Larson hit, where he appeared to be fooled on the pitch, but was able to just poke it into right field and get it down for a 2-run single. 1-2. Fouled back to the screen. But Mike, we go back to talking yesterday, and the Comets have been so good with 2 strikes. The Dons pitchers have been able to get ahead on many occasions, and the Comets have done such a good job of fighting off pitches, extending at bats, and turning it around and coming up with big hits.
Really, both teams so disciplined with 2 strikes and protecting.
Bouncing ball to short. The only play is to first. Denbo gets Ellis for the first out. On the play, Hain able to come home and score and push the lead to 8-4. And watch here as Denbo charges, but good jump all the way around on the slow chopper. And Denbo just has to go to first. Able to get Ellis for the first out of the inning. But the Comets with another run, and they now lead at 8-4. Curveball outside to Devlin Lindemann, who's 1 for 2, singled and grounded out. Lindemann in the series now 5 for 11. No home runs, 2 runs batted in. Fastball at the knees, a ball and a strike. Well, they've done a pretty good job of keeping Lindemann in the yard so far on the weekend.
Cue announcer jinx.
Curveball. That was a little up in the zone, but Lindemann just missed it, fouled it off, a ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, my apologies to the Dons pitchers. I have a pretty potent tendency for the announcer jinx. Should learn to control that better. The 1-2. That hit him. Another hit batsman with 2 strikes. And again, that is exactly what you don't want. Runners at first and second, still only one out. And the Comets have batted around in the third as Jack Sanders comes to the plate. And that to me looked like a fastball that got away from Perez. Let's watch here. And right on that right knee. Fortunate, it appears that Devin Lindemann is okay. Swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch from Perez, and Sanders out in front. He's 0 for 1. Been hit by a pitch and struck out. It's the third time up for Sanders, and we're in the third inning. 0-1. Curveball fouled away. Sanders down on the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Jack Sanders in the series, now 5 for 12. He comes in riding an 11-game hit streak. As we mentioned, leading the entire 3C2A in batting average at 456. 0-2. Pot foul. Heading back our way once again. And off one of our cases. That's why we have the hard cases, though, don't we?
Hard case.
Right? That's why we go for the Pelican style, the hard case.
That's a Pelican plug right there.
I'll tell you, Mike was looking over at me just a moment ago, but I know that doesn't mean that I was supposed to catch that, because he knows me and he knows that wasn't going to happen. So I'm not sure what it means, but sure, knowing me, that he knows there was no way I was coming up with that one. The breaking ball just misses 1 ball and 2 strikes on Sanders.
Oh, tried to nibble, didn't get it. That's a great location for Perez.
Perez ready. 1-2 pitch, back to the curveball. Line, base hit, into center. Ashworth over to cut it off. They're going to send the runner, yes, and it is cut off. Sanders with an RBI single. Larson able to come around and score, as Ashworth has a long run to his left, and they give Larson the green light, and he scores standing up. 6-run inning for the Comets, who will send their 10th batter to the plate. Still only 1 out, and now they lead it 9-4. Well, they led it big yesterday. First pitch swinging. Lined into left field, into the corner. Over to cut it off. It's Stock. This is going to score another run. Hashimoto with 2 hits in the inning. That one's a double. Devlin Lindemann comes in to score. Runners at second and third after the double by Hashimoto. The Comets pouring it on in the third. I started to say the Dons had a big lead yesterday, and I want to say, Mike, you were here, that on Friday it was a big lead for the Comets, and the Dons came back. So this is what we've seen all weekend. We'll come back, tell you about the new pitcher in a moment. You're watching the Super Regionals here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Quincy Scott will be the batter. Quick mound visit, and Perez going to remain in the game. He is just trying to get the Dons out of the inning. The Comets now lead it 10-4. Bounces the first pitch in for ball 1 to Quincy Scott. Scott 1 for 2 in the game. A double his last time up That was earlier in the inning. Time called. For Scott, that was his 15th double of the season. Scott 4 for 10 in the series so far. Good fastball from Perez. No balls, or I should say 1 ball and 1 strike. With the hit by Sanders moments ago, every hitter in the Comet lineup has a hit in the game already. Just foul. A ball and 2 strikes on Scott. Well, both teams have had big leads at one point in the series. So we're a long way from done here in the third. Lined into left. This is going to be another hit that'll score a couple of more. Ashworth will cut it off. Scott with a 2-run double. 9-run inning for the Comets. And they now lead it 12-4. This is another hard hit ball. And Ashworth into the gap. Saves it from going all the way to the wall, but both runs going to score easily. And Scott hustling right out of the box. He's thinking 2 the whole way, and he makes it. The inning continues. Comets now lead it 12-4. They have exploded here in the third. Breaking ball in for a strike to Lappin, who's 2 for 2 in the game.
Well, Jeff, it was an 8-run top of the 6th on Friday that propelled the Comets to the win.
Good curve from Perez. He's way out in front, no balls and 2 strikes. And, Mike, we talked a little bit about it last night, and the Comets lost game 2, but they pounded out 18 hits. They were obviously getting good looks against these Dons pitchers, and you had the feeling that that was going to leave them with a real sense of confidence coming into game 3. Both these teams know that they can put runners on base and score runs. And that's bound to give you a lot of confidence. And that makes this such a 50-50 matchup right now. The Comets are way out in front. So we're just in the top of the third. No balls, 2 strikes on Lappin. Perez, cold, strike 3. Lappin down on strikes. Out number 2. And that will bring up Jackson Garrett. Garrett, the 13th batter of the inning for the Comets. He's 1 for 2 in the game. Singled earlier in the inning. Swung on and missed. Well, it's a steady diet of curveballs from Perez to Lappin and now to Garrett. So perhaps Cedric Perez has found something that works. No balls and a strike. Tries the curve again and another swing and a miss. Quickly 0-2. Well, let's see if Perez goes with that till the Comets show they can hit it. Scott still at second with 2 down. And there is Jackson Garrett. 0-2 pitch, tried the curve. Bounces away from Leibel back to the screen. Scott will move up to third. Still 2 out. A ball and 2 strikes on Garrett. Jackson Garrett hasn't seen a lot of action in the postseason. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Low for a ball. Yeah, Garrett appearing in his first game since the regular season finale at San Diego Mesa, where he went 1 for 4. So seeing his first at-bats in the postseason. 2-2 pitch. Fastball lined over to Denbo, who's got it to retire the side. But the Comets put together an enormous inning. 9 on the board. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Palomar out in front, 12-4. It's the 3 C2A Super Regionals from Santa Ana on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Cedric Perez will lead things off in the bottom of the third for the Dons. After the Comets put a 9 spot on the board in the top of the inning, and they have grabbed control early. With a 12-4 lead, 1 ball and no strikes on Perez. He popped out his first time up. Low for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes on Perez. Perez came in batting .303, 4 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Fastball on the inside corner, 2 balls and a strike. It's a trip through the heart of the order for the Dons, who have to start chipping away at this huge deficit. Another foul off the instep. This time it's Perez, but he appears to be okay. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Big lead for freshman Ethan Sally. Always interesting to see what will be the impact for Sally, who spent a long inning in that Palomar dugout watching the Comets send 13 men to the plate. Fly ball, right field, playable for Sanders, who's there. Perez retired. That'll bring up Leibel. Retired on a sacrifice fly his first time up. Leibel came in batting .271, 2 home runs, now 31 runs batted in on the season. First pitch did get Leibel. So Leibel will head to first after getting hit by the pitch. One on, that'll bring up Schiavone. He popped to third his first time up. Mark Schiavone, who came in batting .302, 3 home runs, 24 runs batted in. Both these teams among the best in the state in terms of the long ball. Fastball outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Palomar 12th and Santa Ana 16th, and of course this decidedly a hitter's park. And we've seen a few bombs already this weekend, a ball and a strike. So you can put runs on the board quickly. 1-1 on Schiavone. Back to the fastball, fouled away. Kyle Morrell waiting on deck. Outside, 2-2. Schiavone now 1 for 7 in the series. Popped up, foul territory. Over near the line. And Schiavone retired. That'll bring up Morrell. 2 down. A runner at first. Morrell singled his first time up. First pitch from Sally, and he pumps the fastball in for a strike. No balls and a strike. Kyle Morrell now 4 for 8 in the series with a couple of walks. On the outside corner. And Sally having his best inning so far. Trying to get out of here without allowing a run. That would be the first time that any pitcher has done that. Just outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tough assignment for the Dons. The Comets finished the regular season on a 14-game win streak. They got a scare in the first round, though, in their matchup against Pasadena City College. Had to go to Game 3 before they were able to finally hold off the Lancers and move to round 2. And it's another Game 3 here at Santa Ana. 2-2. Called strike 3. Sally strikes out Morrell to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on base. We're heading to the 4th. Palomar on top, 12-4, Game 3 of the 3C2A Super Regionals from Santa Ana on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Top of the 4th inning. And the Comets back to work. Now looking to extend on the big lead. Perez back on the mound in the first pitch, in for a strike as he works to Carter Hain, who will be followed by Eric Larson and Ethan Ellis. The bottom of the order due up for Palomar. Good fastball, quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Perez trying to bounce back from that very shaky start as he came on to relieve Huerta in the 3rd. Did get the last couple of batters finally to get out of the inning for the Dons. No balls and 2 strikes, and he'll start getting the ground out here for out number 1. So Perez starting to settle down. And now it'll be up to the Dons bats to see if they can start to chip away at this large deficit. They trail at 12-4, 1 down. Larson 1 for 1, 2-run single his last time up. Big cut and a miss. No balls and a strike. It was Larson that really opened the floodgates in that inning. With the bloop single to right, able to just reach out, pop it over the head of Schiavone at first. Brings up a couple of runs, and that pushed the lead for the Comets out to 3 at the time, and they went from there.
Jeff, I mean, I don't think we have the official stat, of course, but how many of those hits came with 2 strikes? That was a ball that kind of fooled him.
Yeah,
and Larson
absolutely.
able to punch it into right field.
No balls and 2 strikes. And, you know, again, you talk about the good fortune, but it bears repeating. It's to Larson and the Comets' credit when you're fooled on a pitch to be off balance but still have the presence to reach out and just put the barrel on the ball and see what happens. That's a great job at the plate, and Larson deserves all credit for accomplishing that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Curveball inside, 3-2 now on Eric Larson. Larson in the series now 3 for 10. Now with 4 runs batted in on the weekend after that big 2-run single. 3-2. Popped up, foul territory, or I should say out into right, and Morrell actually with room. And will make the catch. 2 down. So Larson flies out to right. 4 in a row set down for Perez. And if Perez can string together a few innings, keep the Comet bats at bay, you have the decided feeling that the Dons will be able to put some runs on the board and start to narrow this gap. Of course, being able to keep the Comet bats quiet for a few more innings, that is a significant challenge in and of itself. A ball and a strike now on Ellis, who's 1 for 2. Ellis 2 for 9 in the series. The 1-1 from Perez, just outside. Two 2-1 pitch, ground ball. Over to second, Haller will go to first. 3 up, 3 down for Perez in the 4th. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th from Santa Ana. Comets on top of the Dons, 12-4 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Bottom of the 4th inning. Denbo, Williams, and Stock. Bottom of the order due up for the Dons. Comets leading at 12-4. Denbo retired on a fielder's choice his first time up. Denbo now 1 for 7 in the series. First pitch swinging. And Denbo retired on the ground out. 1 down. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Sally in the bottom of the 4th. Ethan Sally has settled down. He has now retired 6 of the last 7 batters he's faced. First pitch to Williams, over for a strike. It was Sally who closed out the Lancers in round 1, getting the start in game 3 and getting the win, going 6 innings, as the Comets ended up winning game 3 in one-sided fashion. It was a 17-4 final after the Lancers forced a game 3 with a dramatic 9-7 win in game 2. Fastball just outside. Sally wanted it, but not going to get it. 1-2 on Williams. Thomas Williams, 5 for 8 in the series so far, just outside 2 balls and 2 strikes. He had a base hit his first time up, eventually came around to score on the triple by Stock. And the way Stock is swinging the bat, this becomes a big batter for Sally. He'd love to face Ryan Stock with 2 outs and the bases empty. Fly ball, center field. Ellis there for out number 2. And that'll bring up Stock. 2-run triple. His first time up. Stock now 6 for 10 in the series with 7 runs batted in. And with that hit, Ryan Stock has now hit safely in 13 of 14 games since he entered the lineup. So when we talk about the big postseason that Ryan Stock has had, it might not be telling the whole story. It's really been a big performance since he came into the lineup in the latter stages of the regular season. He's down in the count quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Sally looking to answer the 1-2-3 inning of Perez with one of his own. Bounces it in for ball 1. One and 2 on Ryan Stock. Christian Thompson would be next if Stock can keep it going in the bottom of the 4th. Curveball, line drive, left center. Stock with another base hit, a little trouble for Ellis, but able to corral it. And Stock not thinking about second, just going to hold at first. Another base hit for Ryan Stock, who is lighting it up in this Super Regional. And that's a breaking ball up in the zone. Just a mistake from Sally with 2 strikes. And Stock jumps on it. 2-out base runner for the Dons. And that'll bring up Thompson, who's 0 for 1. Grounded out his last time up. He walked in the first. Sally ready, high fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. And let's correct that. It's Austin Haller at the plate, as he came in at second when Perez moved in from second base to take over on the mound. So the Dons, technically speaking, lose the designated hitter with Haller now at second, though with Perez a regular in the lineup. In effect, he's the pitcher, but it's pretty much like having a designated hitter. So pretty easy trade for Coach Tom Nilles to make 1 and 2 on Haller. First at bat for Haller. The 1-2 from Sally, back to the fastball, fouled away. Austin Haller came in batting .338, a home run, 28 runs batted in. So yet another potent bat that the Dons can bring into the lineup. They're going to need them all. So trailing by 8 in the bottom of the 4th. Fly ball, left field. Scott camped under it, and he's got it to retire the side. The 2-out hit for Stock goes nowhere. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 1 left on base, heading to the 5th. Palomar on top, 12-4 in the 3C2A Super Regionals on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Top of the order due up for the Comets in the top of the fifth. Lindemann, Sanders, and Hashimoto. Perez will work into his third inning. First pitch swinging, Lindemann sky high to center. Ashworth there to put it away for out number one. Six in a row retired for Cedric Perez. Sanders will be the batter. He's 1 for 2. Singled in the third. Also hit by a pitch in the first. First pitch for Perez in for a strike. Jack Sanders now 6 for 13 in the series. 4 runs batted in. Breaking ball outside, a ball and a strike. And there is a look at the freshman, Jack Sanders. 2 and 1. Now on Sanders. On the outside corner. One more look at that pitch, and boy, that is outside corner just at the knees. And he follows it up and gets the strikeout on Sanders. 2 down, base is empty. And that'll bring up Hashimoto. And Sanders, I think with a little departing word, I don't think he really loved the 2-strike call. As it looked like Perez went back to a slider. And Sanders, a wave and a miss. Down on strikes, 2 down. Hashimoto swings at the first pitch and fouls it away. No balls and a strike.
Also going yard yesterday.
Indeed. Hashimoto in the series, now 6 for 12. With that home run and a couple of runs batted in. A ball and a strike. Well, Perez struggled mightily out of the gates after coming on to replace Huerta, but he has found something. And that right there might be just what it is, the curveball. And he has been able to get that over for strikes, and now he has settled into a nice groove, but the Dons bats are going to have to pick it up. 1 and 2. Fouled back to the screen. That's a good job by Hashimoto on a good high fastball from Perez. Able to just fight it off. And get another pitch. 1 and 2 on Bryson Hashimoto. Here's the pitch, fouled away again. Seven different players with a run batted in for the Comets. Everybody in the lineup with a hit. And that's pretty much been the story of this season for the Comets at the plate. Tops in the 3C2A in hits, runs, and batting average. So this isn't exactly a huge departure. A ball and 2 strikes on Hashimoto. Scott would be next. Called strike 3. Perez paints the corner again. 3 up, 3 down. He's set down 8 straight. The Dons will come to bat. In the bottom of the 5th, they trail it 12-4 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Freshman right-hander Blake Ignasiak takes over on the mound as Ethan Sally goes 4 innings, allows 5 hits, walks 1, strikes out 1, and departs with a 12-4 lead. Ignasiak will work to Kyle Ashworth to be followed by Cedric Perez and Evan Leibel. 2-3-4 coming up for the Dons. Inside for ball 1 with the first offering for Ignasiak. His 21st appearance, all in relief. His record 4-0, the ERA 3.80. In 21 1/3, he's allowed 23 hits. Count even up at a ball and a strike. Walked 12, struck out 18. Well, I think if you talk to Ben Adams before the game, comebacker, Ignasiak had it momentarily but lost the handle, tries to throw, but he's not going to get Ashworth, who ends up at first. And let's see if they go ahead and call that a hit. Doesn't look like Ignasiak quite ever completely had it. Yeah, it just came out on the way down. I'll wait and see here what they call. Either way, it's a leadoff base runner, but I think if you ask Ben Adams, he'd tell you that that's almost exactly what he was looking for from young Ethan Sally. The freshman goes 4 innings, gives up 4 runs, but again, with these offenses in this park, that is a reasonable total, and he departs having given the Comets a great opportunity here as they have a big lead with the Dons batting at the bottom of the 5th. Ashworth gets credit for a hit, so it's a base hit. Leadoff man aboard. Line drive into right. This will drop in for a base hit. Back-to-back singles for the Dons in the bottom of the 5th, who will look to get something going. Again, both teams in this 3-game series have enjoyed big leads at one point. And each time, the other team has managed to string together a couple of innings and get themselves well back into the game. And that's what the Dons will try to do one more time. This would be a flashback to Friday when the Comets took the big early lead. The Dons coming all the way back and actually had the potential tying and go-ahead runs on base in the bottom of the 9th inning before the Comets eventually were able to close the door for the 10-9 win. 2 on. Evan Leibel at the plate. Ignasiak immediately in a jam. Leibel, no official at bat in the game. Had a sacrifice fly in the first. He was hit by a pitch in the third. Leibel 3 for 11 in the series with 5 runs batted in. Fouled away. No balls and a strike. Sophomore Evan Leibel at the plate for the Dons with 2 on. Outside for a ball. Mark Schiavone due up next. One. Way outside. This will get back to the screen. Both runners will move up. Wild pitch from Ignasiak. Puts runners at second and third. Still nobody out. 2-1 on Leibel. So the opportunity to start to chip away gets even better with a couple of runners in scoring position. 2-1 pitch. Into left, or caught, or no, it's into left. Just over the head of Eric Larson. Leibel with his second RBI of the game. 3 straight hits to greet Ignasiak. Runners move up one base as both Ashworth and Perez had to let that one get down before they could make a move, but able to easily move up. Ashworth scores. It's now 12-5, and that'll bring up Schiavone. Schiavone's 0 for 2. And for Don's fans, hoping that Schiavone is due. 1 for 8 in the series. Got a chance here with a couple of runners on. A ball and no strikes. Slider tails inside 2-0 on Schiavone. Boy, working across the plate, that looked like it had a lot of it. 2-0. The Dons will take it. That's a called strike. 2 balls and a strike on Schiavone. Just outside. 3 balls and a strike. Morrell, another switch hitter, so another batter who will bat from the left side, due up next against a sidewinder Ignatiak. Bouncer to third. They'll go to second for 1. That's all they'll get. Fielder's choice for Schiavone. No chance for Perez to make a move at third. So the situation remains the same. 1 down, runners at the corners after the fielder's choice off the bat of Schiavone. And Morrell will be the batter. (12-5) the score. Morrell 1 for 2 in the game. Now 4 for 9 in the series. Low for a ball. Brock Denbo waiting on deck for the Dons. Need to, at the very least, get this run home from third. Just outside, 2 balls and no strikes. We're in the bottom of the 5th, with the Dons trailing it 12-5. There is Perez at third, with Schiavone at first. 2-0 on Morrell. On the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Morrell kicks and delivers. Over to first. They'll get one, as Lappin will take it to the bag. On the play, both runners advance, so it's an RBI ground out for Morrell, as Perez comes home to score the second run of the inning. Perez able to score without a throw. Good jump on the chopper off the bat of Morrell. 2 in for the Dons, and now the score is 12-6. Ignatiak misses outside for ball 1 on Brock Denbo. And now a chance for Ignatiak with that sidearm delivery to work to a right-hander. Typically, with this type of motion, this favors the pitcher. The sidewinder would usually prefer to work to a right-handed batter. Can't say for sure with Ignatiak. Denbo tried to hold up, but he went around. A ball and a strike. Denbo 0 for 2 in the game. He's 1 for 8 in the series. Slider inside, 2-1. Well, we saw the power of Brock Denbo in the series against Santa Barbara. Took one way out of here. He's got 3 home runs on the season. So there's danger here for Ignasiak. Back to the screen. 2-2. Thomas Williams waits on deck. Denbo trying to keep the inning going. Dons trail it by 6. 2-2 pitch, fouled away. Well, Denbo is among the most aggressive at the plate for the Dons. Does have 17 walks, but he struck out 32 times in 114 at-bats. So he's another guy who's not going to get cheated up there. 2-2. Got him. A wave and a miss at the slider. Denbo, a strikeout victim. Ignasiak, after some early struggles, does get out of the inning, but the Dons put 2 on the board on 3 hits. No errors, 1 left on base. Through 5 complete, Palomar on top of Santa Ana, 12-6, the 3 C2A Super Regionals on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Quincy Scott, Tanner Lappin, Jackson Garrett due up for the Comets. Top of the 6th inning. Cedric Perez back on the bump. He has settled down nicely, having retired 8 straight. Did go an inning and a third yesterday. He was always in the plans to make an appearance on the mound here in Game 3, but it does raise the question, how long can he be expected to go? This outing now works into his 4th inning. Scott lines it into center for a base hit. Boy, Quincy Scott has been impressive. 3 for 4 in the game. That's another well-hit ball. Out into center field for a base hit. The Comets looking to answer back as they have every time today. And they have the leadoff batter aboard. That'll bring up Lappin, who's 2 for 3. Couple of singles, 3 runs batted in. Looking to bunt. Did this one stay fair? Looks like it did. Boy, off the bat, Michael, I thought that was heading foul, but let's watch this one again from behind. It ends up going down as a successful sacrifice, and boy, that looks like it's heading right up the line off a high bounce. But yeah, it just stays in play, and it's Williams who comes on and will take you down to first base, and they do just get Lappin, who nonetheless has the successful sacrifice, moves the runner to second with 1 down. Snowballs and a strike. Garrett, 1 for 3. Runner at second with one down. Perez ready. One hopper to short. Now it's going to be a double play. Off the shoe tops, it was Denbo who was able to make the pick and heads to second to double it up. Scott caught way off second. And that ends the sixth. No runs, one hit, no errors, one left on base. No left on base. Thomas Williams, Ryan Stock, Austin Haller, 8-9-1 coming up for the Dons in the bottom of the sixth. Perez works another scoreless frame for the Dons. And now they will try to once again cut further into the 6-run deficit. First pitch outside for a ball. Williams 1 for 2 in the game. 5 for 9 in the series. The hit earlier in the game was already the 10th hit in the postseason for Thomas Williams, and it extends his hitting streak to 7 games. 2 balls and no strikes. At the knees, called strike 1. 2-1 from Ignatiak. Right back to that outside corner. And it's 2-2 on Williams. One more look at that pitch, and a good job. Lindemann framing it up. There is a look at Thomas Williams. Ground ball. Little trouble at short for Larson, who's just going to have to hold it. Let's see if that goes down as a base hitter, if they call it an error. Yep. Larson's there. Coming on and can't come up with it cleanly, and you only get one chance with Williams getting down the line. So the leadoff man aboard on the first error of the game on either team. And that'll bring up Stock, who's 2 for 2. Slider outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Ryan Stock now 10 for 20 in the postseason and gets hit by the pitch. The Dons have something going in the bottom of the 6th with 2 on and nobody out. That'll bring up Haller. Austin Haller hasn't played much at all in this series. He was just 0 for 1 over the first 2 games, a pinch hitting appearance. But comes into the lineup as Tom Nillis makes the move to go to Perez on the mound, and that brings Haller in at second. Haller fly to left. His first time up, that was back in the fourth. Ignasiak, this is shades of an inning ago. He's right back into trouble. In the fifth inning, it was a little more of his own doing as he gave up 3 base hits before eventually pulling it together and getting out of the inning after allowing a couple of runs. This time he gets the error behind him, but then hits Stock with the pitch, and it's 2 on, nobody out, and an 0-1 count on Haller. Low and inside. 1-1 on Haller. Ashworth, Perez coming up. Don's starting to work their way back into the middle of that order. 1-1 pitch. Fly ball. Left field. Scott there. Haller flies out to Scott. 1 down. Runner still at first and second. And that'll bring up Ashworth, who's 2 for 3. Ashworth now 4 for 11 in the series. Has a home run as well with 4 runs batted in. Ignasiak working from the stretch with the delivery low. 1 ball and no strikes. One 0 pitch. Just low. 2 balls, no strikes on Ashworth. Going to give you a look at that pitch again. And it's been a fairly generous outside corner, but not that generous. I think it's a good call. 2 balls and no strikes. Slider misses inside. 3 balls, no strikes on Ashworth. Walks for either team haven't been a big storyline. In fact, the Dons, who again led the entire 3C2A in walks on the season, have just 1 walk in the game. They have had a couple of players hit by pitches. There's a walk to Ashworth. That's the second walk issued by Comet pitchers, and the first one since Christian Thompson walked to start the game in the bottom of the first for the Dons. So the walk to Ashworth loads him up, and now Perez with a gargantuan opportunity to help his own cause, as he'll come up with the bases loaded and only 1 out. Perez on the season, 4 home runs, 35 runs batted in, the 4 home runs. Tied for second on the team, only trailing Kyle Ashworth. And another jam for young Blake Ignasiak. And now we'll have a mound visit.
Pitching change.
And we are going to have a move to the bullpen. We'll come back and tell you about the new Comet pitcher. When we come back, we're in the bottom of the 6th. Palomar on top 12-6. It's the 3C2A Super Regionals on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
1-5. Nice. Good job. Ready, graphic, up, off you. Pitcher, you got a number? It's at 29. Connor McBride, saw him on Friday. Graphic cut is up, coming in 5. Graphic down, ready at 5, take 5. Graphic up. On you, with graphic.
Right-hander Connor McBride becomes the third pitcher of the game for the Comets, making his 14th appearance. His record 1-1 in 14 1/3 innings. The ERA 3.77. 16 hits allowed, 5 walks, 16 strikeouts. Comes on with the bases loaded, and Cedric Perez coming to the plate. McBride ready, kicks and deals and misses high. 1 ball and no strikes. Perez, mentioned before, what an opportunity to help his own cause. He has been prolific on the mound in this series when he's got a win and a save so far in the postseason. But in the Super Regionals, still yet to drive in a run. He can change that right here. Here's the 1-0. Line drive, caught. The race to the bag, and just getting back to stay out of the inning-ending double play. That was Ryan Stock just winning the race to the bag. The Comets almost turned the tables in every way, going back to last inning when it was a line drive double play that ended the inning for the Comets at the plate, and there Larson comes up with it, almost able to double up Stock. But the Dons will have another chance. 2 down, bases still loaded, and Leibel coming to the plate. Tough break for Perez, who's robbed of what could have easily been a base hit. But Larson comes up with the catch and nearly the inning-ending double play. First pitch to Leibel from McBride outside for a ball. Boy, I'll tell you, it's hard to tell from that angle, but what hustle by Stock to get back, because he was pretty well off the bag. No, I think the call was exactly right, but just saying, Stock had to really scramble back to keep this inning alive. Let's see if it matters. Back to the screen. Good cut from Leibel, but just missed barreling it up. A ball and a strike. Leibel 1 for 1 officially. Singled, been hit by a pitch, and had a sacrifice fly. He's got a couple of runs batted in already. And there is Evan Leibel out of Los Alamitos High School. The sophomore looking to pull the Dons closer. They trail it by 6. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. McBride rears back with the fastball. 1-2. Saw from the numbers, McBride pretty good control and a good live arm. 16 strikeouts in 14 1/3. He's got Leibel 1-2. Goes to the curve and strikes him out. McBride, what a job. Coming in to slam the door in the 6th. Gets Perez on the line out, then strikes out Leibel. And the Comets out of the inning will head to the 7th. Palomar on top, 12-6. You're watching the 3C2A Super Regionals here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Nice shot, Matty.
Carter Hain will lead things off in the top of the 7th. First pitch swinging. Fly ball, deep left. Forget it. Gone.
I don't have a camera, I'll bring it on too.
Hain takes it downtown again. Second home run of the series for Carter Hain. And the Comets extend the lead to 13-6 as Hain goes yard. Not much Ryan Stock can do, but look at it.
Nice.
Fly ball, left field. Stock with room in front of the track to get Larson for out number 1. They're in the bottom of the 6th at Riverside. And Riverside leading Cypress 7-3. The 3-seed Tigers looking to move on. The winner of that one will take on Glendale. And in the north, Ohlone has tied it up against Los Medanos in game 3. That game tied at 3. Top seed Ohlone trying to stay alive and move on to round 3. Low for a ball to Ethan Ellis, who's 1 for 3. Well, that's got to be deflating for the Dons. So close in the bottom of the 6th to getting themselves well back into this one. Perez with a hard hit ball, but Larson there. And the Comets get out of the inning, keep it at 12-6, and then Hain steps up and takes one out of here. And the Comets, instead of having that lead shrink, extend the lead and now lead at 13-6. 3 balls and a strike. And there is Cedric Perez, and fly ball, center field, Ashworth. Moving over, and miscommunication between Morrell and Ashworth. And the ball ends up dropping. Ellis going to make his way all the way to third. It was Ashworth moving over into right center, but Morrell on the dead run, and the communication just not there. Well, let's watch this one. We'll get a better view of it. And it looked to me like Ashworth was moving over, making that call, and you suspect that Morrell just never heard him. And eventually that one off the glove and falls and heads to the track. Ashworth eventually recovers and gets it back in, but Ellis at third. And now the Comets with an opportunity to tack on an insurance run in the top of the 7th. No balls and a strike. It'll go down as an error. Ground ball on the right side, gets through. Lindemann with an RBI single to bring in Ellis, and the Comets push the lead to 14-6. 61st RBI on the season for Lindemann. He's in the top 5. So 1 down, a runner at first. Back up the middle, another base hit. Sanders with his second hit. Comets with 2 on, still only 1 out. And Bryson Hashimoto coming to the plate, and the situation becoming extremely precarious for the Dons. They're running out of time, even with the potent offense. We're in the 7th. The Comets have pushed the lead back to 8. They've answered the 2 runs that the Dons put up an inning ago. And now they've got the lead back to 14-6. The 8 runs equals their largest lead as Shea Larrabee will pinch hit. Takes the first offering from Perez low. So Shea Larrabee on to bat for Bryson Hashimoto. Larrabee a freshman out of Valley Center High School. Ground ball up the line. It's a fair ball as it gets by Schiavone. 1 run will score. They'll wave the runner. Here comes the throw. Not in time. Larrabee delivers with a 2-run hit. The Palomar lead is now 16-6. Larrabee ends up at second.
Nobody's at second.
Where is Larrabee?
Anybody at first?
Trying to find him, but I don't see anybody at first either. Did he come? Okay, that might have been an out. I thought Shea Larrabee was safe. I don't know what the call was. It's only 1 out, 16-6.
Tony, what happened there?
Okay. All right, so yes, Larrabee trying to advance to second was thrown out. Let's keep it here. And you'll see, yeah, Schiavone comes up with it. They get Larrabee at second. But on the play, good alert base running as Sanders never takes the foot off the gas, rounds third, and scores. So it's a 2-run single for Larrabee, thrown out 3-6, I believe. And now it's 2 down, bases empty, and a 16-6 lead for Palomar. Called strike 3. Perez able to get Scott to retire the side, but the Comets with 4 runs in the inning. A Carter Hayne home run keying the rally, and the Comets push the lead to 16-6 as we head to the bottom of the 7th from Santa Ana. Bottom of the 7th. Schiavone will lead things off to be followed by Morrell and Denbo. With the Dons trailing at 16-6. Connor McBride, who came on to get the Comets out of the jam in the 6th. Back on the rubber and ready to go, and here is Schiavone, who's 0 for 3. Popped out twice, grounded into a fielder's choice. And the Dons need base runners. Trailing it now by 10. Fastball from McBride, in for a strike.
Take
0-1 pitch to Schiavone. Curveball, foul down the left field line. No balls, 2 strikes on Mark Schiavone. out of Servite High School. McBride kicks and delivers. Fastball high.
Good right there. Actually, pull it out just a little bit. Can you keep the catch or anything else? That's perfect. And out a little bit. All right, right there. That's perfect.
Connor McBride making his third appearance of the postseason. 1-2 pitch. Lined into center, is going to drop in for a base hit in front of Ellis. So Schiavone with his first hit. Dons with the leadoff man aboard. McBride went a couple innings in the Game 2 loss against Pasadena City. Went 2/3 of an inning on Friday in the win for Palomar.
Go lefty here. All right, ready, 5, take 5, got a 5. Graphic up in 3, 2, 1. Graphic stop. Down in 3.
Morrell will be the batter. He's 1 for 3. McBride ready. Misses outside for a ball. McBride generally good control, at least by the numbers, and you've got to expect that he's going to go right after these Dons hitters. They're down to their final 9 outs, and right now it's a 10-run lead. Over for a strike. 1-1 on the left-handed hitting Kyle Morrell with Denbo waiting on deck. The winner here on to Saddleback to take on the top seed Gauchos. 1-1 pitch. Tried to hold up, but went around. A ball and 2 strikes on Morrell. Keeping an eye on the Riverside Cypress matchup. And the winner of that one will go on to take on Glendale, the 2 seed.
We'll just call it graphic shot for the initial, and then pull it back.
1-2 on Morrell.
Contact, 2 to contact. 1-2.
Fouled off. Morrell. Five for 16 overall in the postseason for the Dons. With the hit earlier, Morrell is now hitting 7 straight. Here's the 1-2. Check swing. Lifted into right. It's going to drop in for a base hit in front of Sanders. So Morrell with the excuse me. It's just enough. Look here. Didn't really want to go through, but ends up in a perfect spot. Not enough of that so far here today for the Dons. But that time, they catch a little bit of a break as Morrell tried to hold up, ends up at first anyway. 2 on, nobody out. And that'll bring up Denbo, who's 0 for 3. Way outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes.
What a pick.
We suspect that Schrader, I should say, McBride, going to try and possibly get the ball to the Comet closer, Austin Schroeder, who is second in the 3C2A with 11 saves. Schroeder did have a tough outing in Game 1 of this series, going just a third of an inning and allowing 3 runs, but you know he's ready. A wave and a miss for Denbo. 1-1. McBride with a long look. Here's the 1-1. Denbo swings and misses. Couple of breaking balls in a row from McBride to good effect That looked like a good hard slider.
5 out of replay. 5 on 5.
1 and 2
Nice.
on Denbo.
Ready, 1.
And we talked before about Denbo, one of the most aggressive hitters at the plate
Good.
for the Dons. Let's see if McBride tries to get him to chase something out of the zone. 1 and 2. Good job by Denbo. That was indeed exactly what McBride was thinking. And Denbo takes it for ball 2.
Ready, 1, take 1. On 5, track play.
4-run top of the 7th for Palomar. And they have
5, take 5. Good shot.
firmly retaken control. And this one, they are way out in front. The Dons going to need to string together a number of hits to start to get themselves back into this one. 2-2.
I'm on 1.
Outside. Denbo works it back to a full count.
Ready, 5, take 5. Come in here. Get tight.
And McBride,
Give me space.
you see there, taking a couple of extra moments.
Ready, 1, take 1. Off you, off 5. Track play.
Wants to refocus. Big pitch coming up.
Nice.
Definitely does not want to walk Denbo. Here's the payoff pitch. Lifted into left.
See ya.
Down the line, near the pole, and just foul.
Did you have that 5?
Oh, Denbo nearly took it out of here for a 3-run shot. That was hugging the line. We had everything but the Carlton Fisk shot. If Denbo had stayed and watched,
Just missed it, Matt. Good try.
well, he has got the power to take it out of here. The shot that he hit in the Santa Barbara series was way out of here. As is pretty much always the case, what wind there is here is blowing out. 3 and 2.
On 1.
Low for a ball. Denbo with the walk. That'll load him up. Still nobody out, and Thomas Williams will be the batter.
Ready, 1, take 1.
Well, if the big inning's going to happen, this is how it'll happen. You start by getting some runners on base.
Ready, 5, take 5. On 5.
Thomas Williams, who's been swinging a hot bat, will be the batter. He's 1 for 3. A single back in the second.
2, 1, great shot. Ready, 1, take 1. Off 5.
Williams 10 for 18 in the postseason. He's hitting 7 straight.
Leave runner, Sammy.
With a chance here with the bases loaded. First pitch swinging, bouncing ball to short, could be 2. They go to second for 1. The relay in time, 6-4-3. McBride comes up big again when he needs to. Schiavone does come home and score on the play, but the Comets will take that all day long. As Larson to Larrabee to Lappin. And the Comets turn 2. It's now 16-7, but 2 down and a runner on third, and unfortunately for the Dons, it's the pitcher's best friend, and the Comets turn 2. And now McBride on the doorstep of getting out of this one with very little damage. Fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes on Stock, who's 2 for 2. A triple and a single. He's also been hit by a pitch. Stock now 10 hits in the postseason, and he's up to 11 runs batted in. A wave and a miss. Good job by McBride to change speeds. He had Stock off balance. A ball and a strike. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Stock trying to pick up Morrell at third. At least get a couple of runs on the board for the Dons as they bat in the last of the 7th. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1 and 2 on Stock. Can't quite catch up to the fastball.
On one.
McBride ready from the belt, the 1-2. Stock takes it for ball 2. Austin Haller would be next.
You want to take one? What's your color temperature?
2-2. Swung on and missed. They'll throw down and complete the strikeout on Stock. Boy, what a job by McBride. Puts himself in a major jam, allowing the first 3 to reach, but gets the double play and gets out of the inning. 1 run in for the Dons. Will head to the 8th. Palomar on top, 16-7. It's the 3C2A Super Regionals here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Underway in the top of the 8th, with the Comets leading at 16-7. New pitcher on for Santa Ana. It's Matt Schiavone. So Cedric Perez goes 5 innings and gives way to Matt Schiavone. In for a strike, a ball and a strike. Give you the numbers on Schiavone momentarily. One, ground ball to short, and Denbo will go to first. Lappin retired for out number 1, and that'll bring up Jackson Garrett. So 1 down. And the first pitch to Garrett outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Schiavone ready. Tries the fastball, gets the outside corner, ball and a strike. Fly ball, left field, in front of the track, 2 down. So Schiavone gets Lappin and Garrett. And now he'll work to Carter Hain, who homered his last time up. He's 2 for 3 in the game. Give you the numbers quickly. On Matt Schiavone. Breaking ball over for a strike to Hain. No balls and a strike.
On 5 out of replay.
And I'm still trying to find Matt Schiavone out here. There he is, making his 24th appearance. Low for a ball. Count evened up, a ball and a strike. Schiavone, a record of 1-0, an ERA of 4.40 in 30 2/3. He's allowed 20 hits, walked 26, struck out 42. So right there, those numbers tell you the story of Matt Schiavone clearly. When he can get the ball over, he's going to be effective. 2 balls and a strike. So far, he's set down the first 2 batters he's faced. We're in the top of the 8th, but the Comets out in front 16-7. And there is Matt Schiavone out of Servite High School. And I'm going to guess that Matt and Mark are brothers. A year apart, at least in terms of school, as Matt is a freshman. Meanwhile, Mark in his sophomore year at Santa Ana. 3 balls and a strike on Hain, who's been on 3 times. Called strike 2. Schiavone gets the call, works it back to a full count. Hain thought he was aboard again. Larson waits on deck. Schiavone comes back to get him on the breaking ball. Hain strikes out to end the inning. 1, 2, 3 for the Comets in the 8th. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Don's trailing at 16-7. Game 3 of the baseball Super Regionals here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
On 5, on 5, on 5.
Sebastian McSherry will pinch hit to lead off.
On 4, on 4, on 4.
In the bottom of the 8th, McSherry will bat in the leadoff spot as Cedric Perez moves back to second with Matt Schiavone coming into the game. And so now it's McSherry who will bat for just the 2nd time in the postseason, who gets an opportunity here for the Dons against Connor McBride, who will work into his 3rd inning. First pitch, slider over for a strike. McSherry, nonetheless in limited action, a significant power threat In just 61 at-bats, he's got 4 home runs. That's tied for second on the team, an average of 262. No home runs, or I should say 0-1 the count. And the slider misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Sebastian McSherry, a sophomore out of Kennedy High School. Let's go back to the previous pitch, and McBride doesn't get the call.
Where do you want to take one? What's on 5? Sorry, should have it. On 1.
1-1 pitch. Another slider misses high. 2 balls and a strike on McSherry. McBride into the wind, the 2-1. Fouled back. 2-2 on Sebastian McSherry. Also in 61 at-bats, McSherry has 19 walks. So the average is 262, but the OBP is 471. And unfortunately for Dons fans, a walk every bit as good as a hit here. The Dons in dire need of base runners and plenty of them. McSherry just stays alive. McBride has worked 1 2/3. Overall, as a staff, the Comets have issued just 3 walks today. So the control has been pretty good. Here's the 2-2. Fouled away again. Good battle between McBride and McSherry.
Okay. Yeah, can you get tighter? Yeah, can you get tighter? Yeah, get tighter. Belt up. Go. One more.
McSherry had the pinch hit appearance in the 19-4 win in Game 2 against Santa Barbara.
Probably good right there.
He's 0 for 1 in the postseason. Slides this one into left, make it 1 for 2. It held up for Scott, thought it was going to get down. McSherry just hits this one a little too hard.
Yeah, initially, yes.
Thought for a moment McSherry was going to have the leadoff hit. But Scott there. McSherry retired. 1 down, and that'll bring up Kyle Ashworth.
Ready, 5, take 5. Nice. Ready, 1, take 1.
Ashworth 2 for 3 with a walk in the game. Low for a ball.
Coming to 5, ready, 5, take 5. Graphic up in 3, 2, 1. Graphic up. Graphic down in 3, 2, 1. Ready, 1, take
Ashworth
1. Give me the lead.
now up to 4 for 12 in the series, and of course had the big home run.
Ready,
Lifted deep, right center, back to the track. It's going to get to the wall. Ashworth cruising into second with a 1-out double. Well, that was hit hard. Not quite enough air under it, but it'll work as a gapper. A little harder to get one out of here to right field than to left. Here at Don Snedden Field. But Ashworth with a big game here in Game 3. 3 for 4 with a walk. He's at second with 1 down. And Cedric Perez will be the batter. He's 1 for 4.
Andrew, back it up just a little bit.
Well, McBride should be accustomed to having runners on. He came on with a couple of runners on. He loaded them up in his second inning of work. And every time that he's been in that situation, he's come up big. No balls and a strike. Ashworth with good speed at second. Slider on the outside corner. Perez in a hole. No balls and 2 strikes. Watch this one here.
Ready, 5. Out
And McBride able to catch the outside corner.
Pull it out just a little bit there, Matt. That's good.
Perez goes 5 innings earlier. He's now pitched 11 innings in the postseason with a win and a save, in addition to the job he's done at the plate. It's been a sensational all-around performance. 1 ball and 2 strikes for Cedric Perez, but unfortunately for the Perez and the Dons, unless they come up with something pretty dramatic coming up here, their season in danger of ending here today. 1-2. Lifted on the right side in foul territory, and gonna just fall lapping, battling the sun. Might have had a chance at that one, but he couldn't get there. So another chance for Perez. Let's watch here. There's a lot of room in foul territory here at Don Sneddon Field, but sun coming down behind us from our vantage point on the right side, and I think Lappin was battling the sun, trying to pick that ball up. So a break for Perez. Still up there. A ball and 2 strikes as McBride gets the sign. Here's the pitch, back through the box. It gets by, and now it's off the bag and into shallow right. Ashworth gonna round third, and he'll hold there. Obviously, for the Dons in this situation, you certainly don't want to give away an out getting thrown out on the base pass. Down 9 runs, so Ashworth, rather than chance it, will hold at third. As Perez gets his second hit of the game. 2 on, 1 out. And Evan Leibel will be the batter. He's 1 for 2. Singled, been hit by a pitch, had a sacrifice fly. 2 runs batted in the game. McBride from the stretch. He got Leibel on strikes the last time Leibel was up. That was with the bases loaded in the 6th inning. And at that time, it was a 12-6 game. Leibel coming up there looking to get the Dons really all the way back into this one, but McBride won the battle. And then the Comets tacked 4 on the board in the 7th to really open things up. Hard grounder, it's through for a base hit. Leibel with an RBI single as Ashworth comes home to score. 3rd RBI of the game for Leibel. And it's now 16-8 with runners at first and second. Dons fans still here and still into it. Looking for the big inning.
It's good. Hold on.
And that'll bring up Mark Schiavone. He singled his last time up. He's 1 for 4.
I'm on 5. No graphic though yet. Ready, 1, take 1.
Mark Schiavone now 5 for 21 overall in the postseason. First pitch swinging, and he hooks it foul. No balls and a strike. Well, Connor McBride only has 14 1/3 innings pitched on the season. This has been a long stint. 2+ innings.
No, you're good. You're very good.
And he's facing his 12th batter.
Ready, 1, take 1.
And it is warming up here into the mid-afternoon in Santa Ana. And you wonder if fatigue can start to be a factor. A ball and a strike now on Schiavone. Again, McBride is just the 3rd pitcher of the game after Sally went 4. And Ignasiak went 1 1/3.
Andrew, you're camera 4.
So presumably a fair number of options for Ben Adams and the Palomar coaching staff. 1-1. Gets by. Lindemann can't keep it in front. The runners will move up. I'm going to go ahead and unofficially call that a pass ball. 2 balls and a strike. Runners now at second and third. Well, you think about if you could put a couple, 3 on the board, at least get it down to maybe 5 runs, and who knows, in the 9th, maybe something can happen. Don's no doubt thinking bigger than that, but ideally you'd like to at least put up a crooked number and get yourself within shouting distance where maybe something dramatic can happen. 2-1 on Schiavone. Inside. 3-1.
Take 5. On 5. Push in. Slowly.
Schiavone's got the 3-1 count. McBride kicks and delivers. Chopped off of home plate, full count.
One out of replay, good. 1-1. 35, take 5.
And McBride looking for a new ball.
6, take 6, easy.
Kyle Morrell on deck for the Dons.
I have the batter on both. In fact,
They play Schiavone straight away in the outfield.
give me the pitcher 5.
Back a step. No doubt want to keep the ball in front. To the Comets with the large lead here in the bottom of the 8th. 3-2. Schiavone took a shot at what almost certainly would have been ball 4, but fouls it away. It's tough though. We've seen some pitches on the very edges of the zone called strike 3. Certainly don't want to go down with the bat on the shoulder. Payoff pitch. Fly ball, center field. Plenty of room for Ellis. He'll make the catch. The runner will tag and score easily. So Schiavone gets the sacrifice fly. Brings home Perez. That makes it 16-9. Leibel will hold at second. And Kyle Morrell will be the batter. And again for the Comets, trading runs for outs, no problem, with the Dons running out of bullets. 2 down now in the bottom of the 8th. Morrell's 2 for 4. Couple of singles and a run batted in. Kyle Morrell now with 5 hits in the postseason, 17 at-bats with a couple of runs batted in. First pitch swung on. Sky high to left. Scott with room in front of the track to retire the side. Don scored 2 on 3 hits. We head to the 9th. Palomar on top 16-9 here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Right-hander Hunter Harris takes over for the Dons, fourth pitcher of the game. And he will work to Eric Larson to lead things off in the ninth, first offering over for a strike for Harris. Out of Guilderland High School in New York, a sophomore right-hander, making his 10th appearance, record of 1-1 in 12 1/3 innings. His ERA 5.84, allowed 9 hits, walked 8, struck out 18. Larson in the game, 1 for 3. A single back in that huge 9-run third inning for the Comets. Comets took the lead in the third. Haven't let go. They lead at 16-9 as they bat here in the ninth. 2 balls and a strike on Larson to be followed by Ellis and then Devlin Lindemann. 8-9-1 for the Dons, or I should say for the Comets. Fouled off by Larson. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Ready, 5, take 5. On you, 5.
Eric Larson with a hit, but I think the real story for Eric Larson today has been the solid play at short. That was a big play when he came up with the line out off the bat of Perez as he goes after the curveball and comes up empty. Larson strikes out to start the ninth, but you think back to that terrific catch on the line drive off the bat of Perez that at that time preserved a 12-6 score. And then in the very next inning, when the Dons had the bases loaded, he started the 6-4 double play, 6-4-3 double play that really killed that Dons rally. So every time the Dons maybe start to get something going, the Comets have had an answer on the mound, at the plate, or in the field. 1 ball, no strikes on Ethan Ellis, who's 1 for 4, a double back in the second. Gets the call, a ball, and a strike.
5 on 5 on 5 on 5. Ready, 1, take 1. Track play, good.
1-1 to Ellis. 2 balls and a strike.
What did that miss?
They're still tied.
1.
Ohlone and Los Medanos. They're in the bottom of the ninth at Ohlone, the top seed in the north. Ohlone College in a battle against the 8th seed Los Medanos. Meanwhile, last update in the bottom of the 8th at Riverside. Riverside leading 8-5. Bouncer on the left side. This is going to be an infield hit for Ellis. Thomas Williams makes the diving attempt and keeps it on the infield, but no chance to get Ellis at first. So a 1-out base runner, and that'll bring up Devlin Lindemann, who's 2 for 4. He's also been hit by a pitch.
5 on 5 on 5 on 5 on 5. Ready, 1, take 1. Give me the pitcher and first base. Actually, no,
Back to the top of the order. First pitch bounces in. Leibel able to keep it in front. But I tell you, Leibel's done a heck of a job behind the plate. He's made a couple of big plays and really critical situations, kept the ball in play. So often the extra base can make all the difference. And Leibel has really been outstanding. 2 balls and no strikes. Unfortunately for the Dons, this one has been wide enough on the scoreboard that it hasn't been a question of 1 run here today. But those plays still can be so very significant. 2 balls and no strikes on Lindemann. Gets the called strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. And that's a big call for young Hunter Harris. He's got a man on with 1 out. Working to the dangerous Devlin Lindemann. 15 home runs on the season, tied for the lead in the entire 3C2A. Called strike two. 2-2. Lindemann now 8 for 24 in the postseason. Lindemann working on an interesting streak to show just how much his reputation might precede him. He's working on a streak of 9 straight games in which he's had a walk. So you take one look at the stats and you can tell immediately that Lindemann is a bat where you have to be concerned. And you suspect that not only is it a good eye for Devlin Lindemann, but opposing pitchers aware as well and are working carefully. That streak's on the line. He was hit by a pitch. Now it's 3-2. Snap, throw down. Runner back. All right. Well, it's not all of the drama that we were expecting today, but can Lindemann walk for the 10th consecutive game? 3-2 pitch coming. He can. It's not the home run he probably would have chosen if given a choice, but he does draw the walk on base 4 times again today at the top of the order. Devlin Lindemann, as he works the walk, 2 on, 1 out, and that'll bring up Jack Sanders. Sanders 2 for 4 as well. Sanders now with 13 hits in the postseason, working on a streak of his own with a couple of runs scored in this one. That is now 10 consecutive games in which Jack Sanders has scored a run. A swing and a miss, but it bounces away from Leibel and back to the screen, and the runners will move up 90 feet. So the wild pitch puts runners at second and third. RBI opportunity for Jack Sanders here in the top of the 9th.
35, take 5. On 5.
And the Don's going to bring the infield in as they work to Sanders.
4, take 4.
Riverside pushes the lead at 10-5. They're in the 9th against Cypress. Swing and a miss. Again, Harris does a good job pulling the string, and Sanders way out in front. Now in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Sanders going to go back and get a different bat.
Wonder Boy?
Is that Mike wondering if it's Wonder Boy? No, he went back to get the Savoy Special. Don't tell me about the natural. No balls and 2 strikes. Bounced in. Leibel keeps it in front. Ball and 2 strikes on Sanders.
On 5. No, you're good. Go back. 35, take 5. It's fine. Sorry. No, I meant go back to 30. You're fine. I'm on 1.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball inside, 2-2.
Zoom in. Ready, want to take 1? Give me lead runners, 2nd and 3rd.
Harris making his 2nd appearance in the postseason. Line drive, gets through for a base hit.
On 5.
They're going to hold the runner at 3rd. Sanders with his 3rd hit. Brings in Ellis, pushes the lead to 17-9. Runners at the corners. Started to say Harris making his 2nd appearance of the postseason. He went an inning in the Game 2 win against Santa Barbara.
Nice. We have another lefty coming up. I'm still on 5. Ready, 1.
Shea Larrabee due up next. This might be it for Hunter Harris. They come out and talk things over. And that'll do it for Harris. We'll come back, tell you about the new pitcher. Palomar leading at 17-9 here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
I do have boxing.
The Celtics win?
Celtics are up like 20. How much time? 2 minutes, up 21. Hurry up, hurry up.
Left-hander Sergio Caceres will come on for the Dons, and Caceres appearing for the second straight game. Came on yesterday to face one batter coming up with a big strikeout in the 8th inning to keep it a 4-run game as it worked to Shea Larrabee. That was his first appearance since April 26th for Caceres, and he came on, got a strikeout, and that'll do it. Now comes back here in game 3, trying to keep it here with runners at the corners with one down, and Shea Larrabee, who came up with a 2-run single his last time up, which was back in that 4-run 7th inning. Larrabee's hit at the time pushed the lead back to 8 at 15-7. 0-1 from Caceres. Breaking ball fouled off, and Caceres way out in front. 2 balls and a strike. The numbers on Caceres: he makes his 10th appearance, his 9th in relief. The record 3-0, an ERA of 9.45 and 13 1/3. 14 hits, walked 12, struck out 13. Fastball way high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Caceres, 5'9" left-hander out of Long Beach Wilson High School. In his sophomore season here at Santa Ana, the 1-2. Curveball. Shallow right, long run. Did that drop? Larrabee able to just drop that in front for the bloop single. Just watch here, and Or it looked like that was caught. Sorry.
Cut.
Okay. Hard to tell as Morrell was closing fast and does get there. So 2 down. On the play, the runners hold. So Cazares now an out away from getting out. With just 1 run scored. Quick throw over. Quincy Scott, the batter. He's 3 for 5.
Did you have that, bro?
Fouled away by Scott. No balls and a strike. All right. Fly ball, shallow center. Ashworth under it and has it to retire the side. So Cazares comes on and closes out the inning. The Comets add a run. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Palomar 3 outs away from moving on to round 3. They lead at 17-9.
Can you plug that in right there and give it to me over here, please? Actually, I got it.
Austin Schrader, the right-hander on, will try to close things out for the Comets, who lead at 17-9. He'll work to Brock Denbo, Thomas Williams, and Ryan Stock for the Dons. We're down to their final 3 outs. The Comets trying to move on to round 3, where they would travel to Mission Viejo to take on the top seeds, Saddleback College Gauchos.
Take four.
Riverside closed out the win over Cypress. The 3 seed moves on. They'll take on Glendale. And up north, they're into extra innings, Los Medanos and Ohlone. A 1-8 matchup, and they're still tied at 3. 1 ball and no strikes on Denbo, who's 0 for 3. Austin Schrader inside. 2 balls, no strikes, making his 24th appearance, a record of 0-1. With 11 saves, the ERA 4.29, 21 innings. He's allowed 18 hits, walked 10, struck out 29. 2-0 pitch, high for a ball. Well, Schrader struggled in his other outing in the series. Came back in game 1, the 10-9 win for Palomar, but in a third of an inning, he allowed 3 hits and 3 runs. Did have a couple of appearances against Pasadena City in the wins. Games 1 and 3. 2 innings, no hits allowed, struck out 4. So he was dominating against the Lancers. Fouled away, 3 balls and a strike. The Comets with the 8-run lead. Swung on and missed. Comes all the way back to get Denbo after he was down in the count. Schrader able to strike out Denbo for out number 1. Now the Dons down to their final 2 outs. That'll bring up Thomas Williams. He's 1 for 4. A base hit back in the second. Grounded into a double play his last time up. Dons 3rd in the Orange Empire Conference here in 2022, the 4 seed. And looking as though it's going to wrap up here in the Super Regionals. And a loss to Palomar. Meanwhile, the Comets, who really caught fire at the end of the regular season, will look to continue their winning ways as they get set to travel to Mission Viejo. And who knows? If they get the win here, they will have won 18 of their last 20 games. And the matchups next week, each one of them is for a spot in the championship, which takes place in a couple of weeks. 1 and 2 on Williams. This, I believe, the last year of the single elimination 4 teams. They're talking about the move to 6 teams. Starting next year. 1-2. Curveball, they'll appeal down. Ball 2. That's a good shot of it. It was close. But Williams gets the call, 2-2. Bounced it in. Full count on Thomas Williams.
Next shot, man. Check play.
Schrader is the 4th pitcher of the game for the Comets, and seldom do you talk about solid pitching in a game in which a team has given up 9 runs, but ground ball down to first. Lappin will take it himself. 2 down. Now the Dons down to their final out, but I don't think it's a stretch to say that Sally, Ignasiak, McBride, and now Schrader have really done a nice job today. This is a definite hitter's park. Strong lineup for Santa Ana. This was going to be a high-scoring game. But the Comet pitchers have done a pretty good job of limiting opportunities and especially pitching well when the Dons have put runners on base, but it ends on the other side with a 3-up, 3-down inning for Schrader as Sanders brings it in, and the Comets will celebrate right here on Don Sneddon Field. They are moving on to round 3, and the Saddleback College Gauchos, as they win Game 3, 17-9. We'll step aside, come back, and wrap things up from Santa Ana. Palomar moving on. 17-9, the final. Palomar wins the Super Regional and moves on to round 3, where they will take on Saddleback. And I'm back with Mike. And Mike, a busy weekend for us here again. It was a lot of fun, softball and baseball coverage. And we'd be remiss if we didn't give some thank yous here to a lot of people who made this possible and, of course, helped us out as well.
Yeah, incredible staff here at Santa Ana College. Cami Lewis, Sports Information Director, Mary Haggerty, Athletic Director, Dean of Athletics, Denise Bailey, and then
and of course Ken Purcell.
Ken Purcell, the head of the foundation, the Hall of Fame Foundation for Santa Ana College. Shout out to the entire foundation and really allowing us to bring you coverage of Don Athletics. The Lady Dons move on to Bakersfield. We will have coverage of that for you next week, starting on Thursday. And man, the Lady Dons, they look like a tough out for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've been dominating so far. It's only going to get tougher, and we're down to 8, and they're going to see more and more tough competition, and we look forward to it. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage. Do want to take a little time to thank all of the coaches who took some time to talk to us. Megan Martinez at Long Beach City College, and Marissa Ross as well from Santa Ana. And, of course, today Tom Nillis and Ben Adams enjoyed our conversations as well with both the baseball head coaches. And finally, our team, Matt Tyndall, Andrew Stephen, Reggie Phillips, Samuel Diaz, Angelo Solis. Guys working hard. I mean, it looked fantastic. And, of course, our producer and director, Mike Cepeda.
Thanks, bud.
Once again, final score 17-9, Palomar with the Game 3 win, and they move on. For everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com, thanks so much for joining us. So long, everybody.